Nothing completely new today, but going to be a little bit different to it. We're going to compare functions. So basically what that will be is you're going to have two functions in one problem. All right, and it'll either be slope or y-intercept or something else with them. So what we've been doing is we've been getting problems like this where it says Johnny's t-shirts, he earns $125 for selling 30 t-shirts, $170 for 45 t-shirts, and we have to write a function. Or we have to find out what the price per t-shirt is or whatever, right? So what we've done with these, you do your change in y. Our y values will be the money. So change in y in this case is 45 over your change in x. X would be the number of t-shirts. So from 30 to 45 is 15. That means our slope would be 3. And then we do our y equals mx plus b, and we kind of plug in and we go, we'll use that first one, 125 equals 30 times 3 plus our b. 30 times 3 is 90. When we subtract that from 125, that means b will be 35. So in the case of this equation, it's E equals 3t plus 35. Like I said, that's what we've been doing. So the difference is we're going to get a problem like this. We still got Johnny here selling t-shirts. We also have Jimmy selling some t-shirts. Jimmy earns $115 for 35 t-shirts and $145 for 50 t-shirts. They both earn a base payment and an additional amount per t-shirt. And then it's asking who earns more per t-shirt, who earns the higher base pay. Probably wouldn't get asked both of those, but you get asked one of them. Well, if we're talking about, let's go to the first question, who earns more per t-shirt? What are we looking for?
Higher numbers, lesser t-shirts.
What part of our function? Slope. How do we know slope? Per. Per gives it away. That's saying that's going to be our slope we're looking for. So if you remember, we had, Johnny. We just said that equation was 3x plus 35, right? Or y equals 3x plus 35. So we got to find Jimmy's. Jimmy, for our change in y with the money, he's going up 30. For the change in x with the number of t-shirts, that's going up 15. So that's a slope of 2. So who earns more per t-shirt? Johnny. So that answers that first question. Johnny earns more per t-shirt. We just had to find the slope. If that's all the question was asking for, that would be all you'd have to do is just find the slope for each of them. If it asks for something like that, higher base pay, that's your y-intercept. That means you have to find the y-intercept for both parts. So if we keep going with Jimmy here, the y equals where's his? I'm going to use the second one. We got 145 equals 2 times 50 plus b. I used the second one this time just because 50 is easier to multiply with. Not that 35 is super tough, but 50 is easy. 50 times 2 is 100. We subtract that from 145. We get a y-intercept of 45. So who has the higher base pay? Jimmy. The base pay would be the y-intercept. Jimmy's base pay is 45. Johnny's base pay is 35. Everybody see what I'm saying? And that's what this is. It's going to be finding the two pieces that they want you to compare. Y'all go ahead and try this. So Don works at the t-shirt shop selling tees. The equation Y equals 15x minus 1 represents the profit each t-shirt sold, where Y is total profit, X is the number of t-shirts sold. John works at the t-shirt hut, and their profits are shown on the table below per shirt. I think I got an answer. Emmy? Yeah, t-shirt hut's charging more. So what's it asking us for? What part of the function? Slope, how do we know? Per. All right, so we got that per right there. That means we're looking for the slope. What's the slope for the t-shirt shack? 15. Sometimes, or probably about half the time, they give you one of the equations. Makes things a lot easier, or saves you a little bit of time. Then we have to find the slope for the table here for the t-shirt hut. I would just use those 2 points right there. They're the first two. A lot of y'all put them into stat to get your equation that way. For me, if I'm doing just slope, it's easier to do it without the stat and without putting them in L1 and L2. L1, L2, I think works a little quicker if you're doing y-intercept, and then you got to find the slope and the y-intercept. But if you're just finding slope, all you have to do is take the second y value and subtract the first y value. So 420 minus 250, that gave us 170. And divide by your change in x, which we get the same way, subtracting the second one from the, or first one from the second one. And when you do that division, you got 17, which obviously is higher than 15. Okay? Sometimes it'll ask you which one's higher and by how much. So just a little extra to it there where you got to do a little subtraction too. Let's try this one. Salesperson A earns a base salary of $4,000 plus a commission of $300 for every machine he sells. Salesperson B's earnings are calculated using the table below. Who has the higher base salary? All right, who's got it? Aiden? Salesperson A is correct. So salesperson A, it's asking base salary. It says you don't have to write the equation, but if you wrote the equation for salesperson A, you'd have y equals 300x plus 4,000. The base salary is the y-intercept we're looking for. Basically, like it's their starting amount. So for salesperson B, we got our table. Our change in y is 1,500. Change in x is 3. 3 gives us $500 for every machine he sells. So salesperson B, doing better on that one. But as for the base salary, so we got y equals mx plus b. So 4,600 equals 2 times 500 plus b. 2 times 500 is 1,000. We subtract that from the 4,600. That's 3,600, which obviously is lower than 4,000. So the other tricky thing sometimes with this is sometimes it'll ask you for which one's lower. Sometimes it'll ask you for which one's higher. So pay attention to what it's asking you for and kind of make sure you're answering what it's looking for, okay? Nothing about this is way more difficult than what we've been doing, though. And just kind of a little more to it.